Hello again, it's Lock Noob, and I'm very excited to be able to bring you another Banggood.com review. For those of you who don't know, Banggood.com approached me a while ago now to do some reviews on lockpicking equipment, which of course I said, yes please, I'd love to do some reviews on your lockpicking equipment. So I went to their website and I had a look around. I decided to try and find items that, as a new or intermediate picker, I would personally be interested in buying. Saying that, I think that this here is probably more suitable for an experienced picker or an intermediate picker who knows a little bit more about modifying tools and how they might work. What are they? Well, these are 2-in-1 lever lock picks. How do they work? Well, they work by having an inner mechanism, I guess you want to call it, and at the end is a thick piece of metal which is designed to apply tension to the bolt by basically you hook it into the talon on the bolt and apply torque to it. That would then put pressure on the lever pack, and then you would pick the levers by turning the outer sleeve, and this little end here is the lever pick. So inner one is for tension, outer one to pick levers. Okay. If you like to apply a bit more turning force, or you just find it more comfortable, you can put these little upstands in these knurled ends like that, and I won't screw them all the way, you get the general idea, and then you can operate your pick like this. And again, it's got a number of different places you can put those upstands in around the knurled knobs at the end for your comfort. I'm just going to put these away actually, because I don't tend to use them. They come in this plastic case, and I don't think it's designed for permanent storage, it's just for transportation really, keep it all tidy. So I'll just put these to one side for now over here. And what you get is you get two of these 2-in-1 lever picks within that kit. How much are these? Well, this is the exciting bit really. Together these are around, give or take a few pence, £35 on Banggood.com. Now, just for two 2-in-1 picks alone, £35 is a real bargain. It really is. If you know about your 2-in-1 lever picks, £35 for two is really excellent. I've seen similar ones sold for about £35 for one. If you look below in the description, you'll also notice that Banggood.com have given us a 25% off voucher, which will I think be active till the end of April 2017. That makes these a real shocking bargain at £25.50, something like that. I mean, that is almost unheard of. Are they worth it? Well, let's have a look at the quality. This one I've done no modifications on at all, haven't sanded it down, haven't filed off any edges, anything like that. If you look at the knobs themselves, they're pretty good finish on these, aren't they? You know, there doesn't seem to be any rough edges. There's a couple of marks where I think it's just knocked in transportation. Other than that, the overall finish is excellent. The metal is really tough, and I think it's a good strong stainless steel. Even the pick tips themselves, you look at the finish on these, is this is out of the pack, a bit sharp at the edges I think, so put a file and some sandpaper around it, but other than that, you know, we're talking just excellent really. I mean, you know, for an out of the box pick set, this is really high quality finish. What's the differences between these two? Nothing apart from the length. You've got one which is more or less about 11.5 centimeters, and one which is, let's measure it this way around, more or less 14.5 centimeters. That's the only difference between the two. Apart from a few manufacturing tolerance differences, the inner sleeve and the outer sleeve, as you can see, are identical. Let's put this one up here for a minute and let's get some calipers out and do some measurements. Why would I do some measurements for you? Well, this is the crux of the issue. I really like these, genuinely I do. I think they're made to a pretty high quality. I think they're a really good value thing. But do they get you into any lever locks? Any in Europe especially? Some, yes, and hopefully I'll demonstrate that for you in a minute. But not all. Why? Well, when you bear in mind this has got to go into the keyway. If this outer sleeve is too thick, thicker than say the end of this key, you won't be able to get it into the lock. Therefore, you won't be able to pick. If it's too thin and the keyway is really wide, it'll probably just flop about and not be very useful. You've also got a hole in this end, which isn't, this inner tube isn't hollow. I think it goes, well, I'll measure it for you on camera, but it goes to about 1.9 centimeters in. That's designed for any kind of upstand or post inside the lock. You slide this over it, and that therefore accommodates it and allows you to operate the levers and bolts inside the lock. And again, though, if your inner post of the lock is too thick, you won't be able to get around it, and you haven't got a lot of metal in there to file away to accommodate that. So that's something to think about. If these ends are too long, so if this is too long to apply tension to the bolt, or this is too long to appropriately pick the levers, well, you can file them down, no problems. You've got two. And anybody who knows anything about lever lock picking, you quite often have to do lots of modifications, purely because lever locks are all different, hugely varied. There isn't really a set standard for them. However, if these are too short, well, they won't be suitable for a lock because, of course, you can't add metal. So let's do a few measurements on this one, which I've done no modifications on for you. So first thing is, and I think this is one of the most important measurements, is the outer sleeve measurement. And again, these two are identical, so I'll just measure one for you. And this is around 5.92, about 6 mils, something like that, 5.966 mils. The inner sleeve, or inner post measurement is, there we go, about 4.91, or near 5 millimeters. The height of the upstand, which is really important, let's get that for you, is about 12.91 millimeters, and the height of the upstand, well, the pick upstand is about 13.75 edge to edge. Okay. However, when you do line them up together, you'll see that they are identical. It's just that obviously there's a little step difference there. Okay. In terms of the thickness of the tip, 2.96. The width, again, you can file that down a bit. If it's too thick, is 4.08. The width of the pick tip, and again, you can file it down if it's too thick, is 1.48. And its other dimension is 3.19. Let's get a depth measurement for you for this part. So what I do is I put this down inside, which does fit. There we go, and stop there, and that is about 19 millimeters. That's how deep that is. That should accommodate most posts inside a lock. What else do I need to measure for you? I think that's about it, really. Oh yes, the inner dimensions of the post here. Again, hard to get, but it's going to be an approximation. Approximation is about 3.68, 3.7, something like that, for the inside measurement of the inner mechanism, the inner post, the inner pole, if you like. Okay, so that's all the measurements I can really give you. I can't tell you if this will pick any of the locks you have. I've given you some measurements. You can decide that for yourself. All I can say is that the quality of these is good. I have got a lever lock. I've got a couple of lever locks they will pick. Hopefully I'll demonstrate that one of them to you now. Again, if you honestly, if you have a lock that your 2-in-1 pick would pick, this is really good quality, I think, and good value. If you don't have a lock that this will pick, then and you can't modify it to do that, then it won't pick that lock. You can't make these 2-in-1s fit every lock. You just cannot. A good demonstration is that I've taken this one, and the only modifications I've done is I've filed down the pick tip and the end for tensioning. I just filed off the edges a bit, made them a bit smoother, rounded them off, run some sandpaper on the inside of these and the inside of the post as well. So I've tidied this up a little bit, not an awful lot. If I compare those two ends, you probably won't be able to tell much of a difference. Maybe you'll notice that the pick tip is a little thinner. Just file that down a bit. Okay, so let's try and pick a lever lock. Now, again, I'm not sure what these were designed for, but I do know that I've got a 3-lever lock, and I think you saw the key for this earlier. Let's open it up. There we go. How does it work? Well, you've got 3 levers, so the bitting, this part of the key here would operate the first lever, second lever, and the third lever. The reason why this is so wide is, of course, the center part would operate the bolt. If you look at the 2-in-1 pick, you'll see that overall the height of the ends are just about long enough to pick this. It's a very, very tight fit into the keyway. In fact, because it's a wiggly keyway, I have to put this in and then tip it up to get this in. Getting tension is okay if you know what you're doing. You see there, if I turn the knob, I can operate the bolt. Trying to do this on camera is going to be pretty tough, but I'll try my best for you, and we'll try to pick the levers while maintaining tension on the lock. And there we go, we've got it open. So there we go. What I'd like to do is I'll just put that to one side, I'll take that out in a second. What I'd like to do is give away this one. I haven't modified it, I'd like to give it away. I've put in a couple of the one long and one short upstand as well. I modified the one that's in the lock, so I don't really want to give you that one. I want to play around with it a bit more, but I don't need to. I'd like to give this one away. If you want this, then all you need to do is like, subscribe, leave a comment below. There will be rules in the description, but essentially it goes something like this, that I'll only draw one name. I'll draw it at the date given in the description, usually about a week's time. You'll have a couple of weeks to claim your prize by PMing me or contact me via the email in the description. If you do win, if you don't contact me in a couple of weeks after I've said you've won, then you forfeit the prize. If you live in a territory like Japan where lockpicks are illegal, then I will not send it to you. Tough. My decision is final, and I'll only accept a winner if you commented one time and you have left a comment, you subscribed and liked. Okay, so there we go. That's my review of the Banggood 2-in-1 lockpick set. If you do like these, please use the link and discount code below. Like I said, the quality of these I think is really high for what you get. The price is excellent. Will it allow you to pick a lock? Well, I have no idea. There are just so many lever locks out there. All I can do is give you the dimensions of the pick, and you can then measure up your locks and keys and decide whether a 2-in-1 pick would be able to pick your locks. I really can't do much more than that. I really like it. I think it's really good. I've had a lot of fun with it, but I cannot say whether this would pick a lock you have. You'd be the only one to be able to tell that from the measurements I've given. Okay, thank you. Enter the competition, like, subscribe, and leave a comment, and I'll see you next time.